Hey everybody, it's Tim Lock here. We are playing. We're getting towards the end of a $10 five table sit and go on PokerStars. Obviously, I have to call here. I was hoping he wouldn't push, but that's okay. We're ahead, and as you can see, we have a huge stack compared to the rest of the table. I'm actually the chip leader in the tournament right now with 18. No, actually, that was the final table bubble. So we are now at the final table of this tournament, and I haven't made a video in a while. I just haven't had time to play poker much lately, so I just wanted to get one up here while I've been playing. This is only a $10 tournament, as you can see, but as you can also see, I'm a chip lead now with 18,000. And first place is 139, second is 96. That's the only two that I'd really be happy with at this point. I wouldn't be happy with second, but crazy things happen. You lose a bunch of races and stuff like that. And that's poker, so you just always have to, be ready for that. I'm going to call this guy's all in if he pushes here. He should have pushed, because if this guy folds, I'm just going to raise him anyway. This is an auto raise with a king 8. Because, see, right there, we're getting our money's worth, even though we have the worst of it. And we're going to need to get lucky. But we don't. But still, that wasn't even a small dent to our roll to take another player out. And he was short-stacked anyway. If he was going to play that hand, he should have just gone all in. And he should have played that hand, definitely, when you're short-stacked. Anyways, I've been drinking tonight. So I'm rambling. Pardon me for that. If it folds around, most likely I'll raise. Yeah, and I'm going to raise here. I'm just going to make it 1,400. Actually, I'm going to go 1,450. So it makes him think I put some time into the actual size of the bet. But he auto calls, and I flop top pair. I mean, that's not a bad flop. So I'm going to go 2185. Because I probably have the best hand. I don't want a diamond to hit. That's okay. I think I still have the best hand, so I'm just going to go ahead and shove here. Because if he's on a draw, he might call with just a diamond. See, as he did. And I'm a huge favorite there, so it's better to just push all in, make them have the tough decision. Especially when you have a big stack like I do. So anyways, we take another player out, and our domination continues. He actually had a lot of chips. He had 9,000. He got real careless there with 9,000. You're likely going to see a lot of all-ins. You see the stacks around the table. A few $2,000 stacks right here. This guy's got 3,500, 2,000, 2,400. Even the guy with 4,600 and this other guy with 3,000, they're in trouble. They need to make a move quickly. So, like this kind of hand right here, not even looking at my cards, but the situation. See if they all fold, I have to raise because it just looks like a strong bet. No one really wants to mess with the chip leader. If he were to check there, I was gonna bet. I'm still gonna bet a good amount here. Not to commit myself, but I want to make him think that I got an overpair to the sixes. And you see he folds. He could have had a much better hand than me right there. He could have had a pocket pair up to like maybe 8s, 9s. Or he could have had a better ace. Who knows, but I didn't want to give up that hand. I wanted to keep the lead in betting. So I made it look like I was really strong. Not going to get carried away and start raising every hand. Jack deuce is garbage, and you should probably fold it almost every time. That was your standard race there. So we're down to 7. I think we just made the money. But as I said earlier, that doesn't matter. I wouldn't want anything worse than second. Second's the worst. I think I should get in this thing. Even second, I mean, I can't see a situation where I would be happy with getting second. Unless someone gets real lucky and makes a monster stack and I'm short stack, then maybe. But if I go into heads up with the chip lead, I think it's a pretty good likelihood that I'm going to win. I'm looking to just raise a lot of pots here and steal some blinds. But I can't be completely crazy with it because of the size of these short stacks over here. At any time they could just re-raise me all in, so I either want to actually have a good hand, which means play tighter, or I want to be in a spot where they've already folded and it's just the big stacks remaining, or maybe one short stack. But these guys all to my right here, I don't really want to, no, at least not the 4,000 and the 3,500 guy. I say that, and now I'm gonna raise. I'm just totally going against my advice right there, because this guy, watch, he's gonna punish me. Oh, I thought he was. But that's not to say if one of these shorter stacks with like 4,000, 3,000, if they play weakly in a pot, I'm going to take it from him. Like if he just limps here, I'm going to most likely raise. Same with this guy, he doesn't want to play a good pot with anybody. He's just trying to squeak by and see a flop, So he can't really call this unless he's like super strong. Or stupid. I mean, it's one of the two. But most likely, I'd say probably good 80% of the times you do this to a short stack like that, they're going to fold. So your cards don't even matter. I mean, I was going to raise right there with a 2-9, Cards don't matter there. And again, here, if I didn't raise last hand, this guy that limped, I would raise him. I can't do it now because I just raised last hand. But I'm also not going to fold with such a enormous chip lead. I mean, I'd rather see a flop with a king 6, and flop like this to where I can find out really relatively cheaply for $1,000 there if my sixes are good. And he just calls, so I mean, I think he's gonna have to get lucky. I'm just gonna once again put pressure on him and go all in. He can't call correctly without a pocket pair higher than sixes or a jack. Flush draw is a horrible call. And I go all in like that, too, to confuse him if he's trying to count pot odds and stuff. He's going to have to make an extra calculation to subtract all the extra that I bet. It's not just a straightforward, okay, there's 3-1 in the pot or whatever, So, yeah, you just got to keep aggressive. Don't play a big pot unless you think you have the best hand when you have the chip lead. But every hand, you got to stay aggressive. And even if I get re-raised here, I'm just trying to put together my constant aggression there. I want to put that table image out to the rest of the people so they tighten up. Some guys going crazy raising every hand, they're going to tighten up and try to wait for the aces and the kings. And that'll happen. It's probably going to happen here in the next few minutes, but what I'm hoping they do is they go crazy and just go all in when they can make a lot more money by, just calling or raising less. But I digress. This is actually a pretty good bet by Remus over there. I'd do the exact same thing every time because you're forcing him to have a really good hand. His cards didn't even matter. Again, right there. You're forcing your opponents to have a really good hand. Like right here, though, it would be ridiculous for me to raise anything other than like, pocket jacks and above. So obviously I'm not playing a jack 7 because the big blind's so short stacked that he has to call with any 2 cards. And this is this is pretty comical right here. Battle of the short stacks. So, for all intents and purposes, that guy's out of the game. And we'll be down to the final 6. Ouch, that's dirty. But that's actually a good thing for us. We wanted to lose that player. We don't need a real short stack like that messing up our game. And you'll see that these 2 other big stacks here are playing surprisingly tight for a final table. This is the first time he's raised, so I'm obviously not calling with a 5-8. Not the first time he does it. I mean, he's gonna have to do it to me a couple times for me to actually play back. And either way, I'm not gonna call that bet. I'm either gonna fold or raise. Go raise this up here. And we take another one down. I want to make my standard raise to be 2,000, so I think no one else. Hopefully he doesn't go all in. I don't know if I can call it. Yeah, I want to make my standard raise here. I'm going to start raising a lot. Just make it 2,000, so they get used to that. It's less than 3 times, so they're going to get slightly better odds, but I want them to just get used to that $1,200 raise. Can't call this. He hasn't, like I said, he raised earlier, but he hasn't re-raised me like that in a while. But he also seems like a pretty good player, so he might just be re-stealing there. But until I, find otherwise, I can't call that. And here I would limp if this big blind had more chips, but if he goes all in, we're all going to be pot committed to call, so I'd rather not play it for 1,000 chips. Man, we're going to need a 5. Or anything higher than the 6. That'll work. I don't mind there if another big stack rises out of the group. Because I'll still have the chip lead on him, like I can always put the ultimate decision on him for all his chips, which is a very powerful force at a final table when every step up the pay ladder or every step up in finishing spot is a jump in the pay ladder. These guys will likely check it down just because they both want to make a little more money. I probably would bet if I was in this hand. I don't remember what I folded, but just because,